The knock came before sunrise, frantic, uneven, desperate. Evan Cole had been awake anyway. Ranchers learned to sleep with one ear open. When your land stretched farther than your eyes could see, danger never fully slept. He grabbed his rifle from beside the door and pulled it open. There she stood, Mary Whitfield, the preacher's wife. Her hair was loose, her shawl barely holding to her trembling shoulders, her eyes wide with fear and wild with tears. "Please," she whispered, her voice breaking. "Hurry." Evan looked behind her. The road was empty. No dust. No riders. Nothing. "What happened?" he asked. She took one shaky breath. "They took him." The words hit like a bullet. Reverend Whitfield had preached peace in a land ruled by gunfire. Some folks admired him for it. Others despised him. "Who took him?" Evan asked. Mary shook her head. "Men in black dusters. They came in the night. Said he owed a debt. That he'd preached his last lie." Evan swore under his breath and stepped back inside for his coat. This was not his fight. That's what he told himself. But Mary collapsed to her knees on the porch. "They said when the sun reaches the highest point, he dies." Her voice dropped to a whisper. "They're taking him to Devil's Canyon." That name tightened something cold around Evan's heart. Devil's Canyon was where people disappeared. Evan hesitated. He hadn't drawn a gun for anyone in over 3 years. Not since the bloodshed that made him hang up his badge, and his past. Mary looked up at him, her eyes full of terror and hope. "Please, hurry." Something old and dangerous stirred in his chest. "Get on the horse," he said. They rode hard. Wind lashed against them. The sky bled from black into red. Every mile carried the sound of a clock ticking toward death. By the time they reached the canyon ridge, they saw smoke rising below. And they heard the sound of a man crying out. The preacher. Alive. For now. But surrounded. They tied Reverend Whitfield to a dead cottonwood. 6 men stood around him, outlaws, bounty killers, men who wore cruelty like religion. Their leader, a scar-faced brute named Hollis Kane, pressed a revolver against the preacher's chest. "You prayed for mercy," Kane sneered. "Let's see if your God delivers it." From the ridge above, Evan watched every movement. Mary clutched his sleeve. "They'll kill him." Evan removed his hat. "You trust me?" he asked quietly. She nodded, tears streaking her dusty face. Evan stood up and walked straight down into the open. Every gun turned toward him. "Well, I'll be damned," Kane laughed. "The ghost of Black River." The name sent a shiver through the men. Evan Cole wasn't just a rancher. He was the fastest lawman this territory had ever known. The man who'd put 37 killers in the ground and then vanished after his family was murdered. "I'm here for the preacher," Evan said. Kane grinned. "You're too late." Evan stepped closer. "You know the rules. If you kill him, every man in this canyon becomes my business." Silence fell. Finally, Kane smiled wider. "Then let's make it entertainment." He untied one hand of the preacher and shoved a pistol into it. "Either he shoots you, or we shoot him." Mary screamed. The preacher shook so badly the gun rattled. Evan didn't draw. He walked closer instead. "I forgive you," the preacher whispered through tears. Evan stopped 3 steps from the barrel. And smiled. Then he moved. In one breath, 6 shots rang out. 6 men hit the dirt. Kane fell last, a hole between his eyes. Silence crashed into the canyon. The preacher dropped the gun and collapsed. Mary ran to him, sobbing against his chest. Evan turned away, his past finally catching up with him, and then, just as quietly, letting go. Later that night, as the sun sank red behind the hills, Mary stood at Evan's gate once more. "You gave him back his life," she said. Evan shook his head. "No, he gave me mine." And as she rode away with her husband beside her, the rancher stood alone again. But no longer haunted. Because sometimes, a single desperate plea, "Please, hurry," is loud enough to wake a legend.